The Cubs are back home for their first home night game of the 2010 season here at Wrigley Field. Clear skies above, but very cold temperatures. The wind howling in from the north as we get you set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. The Nationals are off to a good start. The Cubs look for their fourth straight win tonight. Hi again, everyone. All bundled up here in the booth. Bob Brenly and Len Casper. Probably won't see a lot of home runs tonight, but we sure did in Milwaukee.
Well, I'd be shocked if the home run ball played a factor in the game tonight, but in Milwaukee over the weekend, that was definitely the case for the Cubs offense. 4 different Cubs hitters went yard against a banged-up Brewers pitching staff. You know, early in the season, everybody was saying, the Cubs only score when they hit home runs. Well, that's fine. Nobody cares. Hit the home runs, score the runs, win the ball games. Worry about tomorrow.
And, Bob, the outfield basically reconfigured. Kosuke and Alfonso Soriano are the holdovers, but you have Nady, Bird, Colvin, and everybody's playing and contributing.
Yeah, the outfield rotation seems to be working at this point because everybody's contributing. If one or two of those guys don't contribute, it would cease to become a rotation.
And Tyler Colvin is playing right against a left-hander, John Lannon. More on him in a second. Carlos Silva tries to improve to 3-0 to start his season.
Well, he's coming off an outstanding start against the New York Mets at Citi Field. He went 6 strong innings in that game, gave up only 1 run on 2 hits. You see the sparkling 0.95 ERA. John Lannon, one of the best pitchers nobody knows about in the National League, off to somewhat of a slow start by his standards.
And he's struggling in getting out left-handers, so maybe a big night for Colvin batting at the bottom of the order. Tonight, Carlos Silva off to a great start to his Cubs career, 2-0 with a 0.95. Hopefully he'll have that changeup working again. Cubs and Nats coming up.
Brought to you in part by Lexus, reinventing the vehicle that invented it all. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Member-owned means our reason for being is your well-being. Experience wellness everywhere. AT&T. See what's new from AT&T. Visit att.com for details. And by Southwest Airlines. Visit southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Welcome back inside the friendly confines, the beginning of the Cubs' second homestand of the year. On the first one, they went 3-3. And now the Washington Nationals Southwest starting lineup, written out by former Cubs manager Jim Riggleman. Couple of numbers to think about as you look at their lineup. They lead the National League in doubles, triples, and steals, and they're second in walks. And tonight they're without Ryan Zimmerman and the major's best hitter, Ivan Rodriguez.
Take a look at the Cubs defense, brought to you by Jimmy John. Soriano and left, Bird in center. The sole left-handed hitter in the lineup tonight, Tyler Colvin, will be out in right field. Ramirez, Terrio, Baker, Lee across the infield. Giovanni Soto continues to swing the hot bat. He'll be behind the plate tonight for right-hander Carlos Silva. See his numbers on the season, off to an outstanding start. Last time out, he was limited to basically a fastball and a changeup. He had a minor wrist injury that prohibited him from throwing his slider. Had great results against the Mets. You might want to shelve the slider anyway.
Greg Gibson will work the plate. The crew chief is Jerry Davis at second, and Carlos Silva deals strike one to Niger Morgan. Plays center, bats lefty. Silva likes to work fast, gets contact fairly early in counts, doesn't walk many, and he's quickly ahead, 0-2, and this guy you want to keep off the bases. And
Niger Morgan missed the last 5 weeks of the season last year and was still second in the National League with 42 stolen bases. The Nationals team has some speed sprinkled up and down the lineup as Morgan goes down and strikes to start the game.
It's a chilly 49 degrees, and that 19 miles an hour out of the north is legit. And actually, I don't think it's blowing nearly as hard as it was about 4 o'clock during batting practice. Ian Desmond, the shortstop, he won the job in spring training over the incumbent Christian Guzman, who's at second base tonight. That's a strike. 1-1. Nationals are getting a lot of national press, as you would expect. No pun intended. Well, the pun was intended.
Sure it was.
They have won 10 of their first 19, and that's significant because they're coming off back-to-back 100-loss seasons. And there's former Cubs manager Jim Riggleman. Very happy for Jim that he had that interim tag taken off after the season. Another interesting Chicago connection. His general manager, Mike Rizzo, is from Chicago. Dan Radisson's at first base, formerly on Riggleman's staff. Pat Listash, who managed in the Cubs system, was at third base. Called strike 3 to get Desmond. So that's 2 strikeouts already for Silva.
Good movement, good command in the early going today from Silva. We've seen him use all 3 of his pitches, so the slider is in play tonight, but it's Desmond looking at a backdoor sinker for a called strike 3.
But the Nationals have had a tough schedule based on last year's records. And there's a cue shot. Guzman's going to ground out to Ramirez. 31 of their first 40 against winning teams from last year. As we said, they're off to a good start. But Silva goes 1, 2, 3. The exception tonight, Tyler Colvin, a big weekend in Milwaukee, and he's playing right for the birthday boy, Kosuke Fukudome, who turns 33.
Quick look at the Nationals defense brought to you by Jimmy Johns, Josh Willingham, Niger Morgan, and Willie Tavares across the outfield. Kennedy, Desmond, Guzman, and Dunn across the infield. Wilton Nieves, a late insert into the lineup for Pudge Rodriguez. Came up with a little bit of a stiff back in the cold winds here during batting practice. And Nieves catching left-hander John Lannon.
Terrio taps it to third as Kennedy, filling in for Ryan Zimmerman, throws him out.
See the lofty opponent's batting average, including left-handers hitting .542. That kind of follows his career trend. Going into this season, left-handers had hit .291 against him, right-handers .257.
Well, if you're sitting at home watching and you look out at a clear night, just imagine it's 75 degrees here on the north side. As Jeff Baker grounds out on one pitch to Guzman. It's actually not that bad. We can handle the cold. The wind is what we expect to really affect the game tonight.
Well, you can do that at home, but you have to have a tremendous imagination to make believe it's 75 degrees here tonight.
Well, look, I mean, you see the ivy's coming in on the walls. A lot of leaves already, very green and lush on the trees in the neighborhood. Here's Derek Lee.
John Lannon's wearing short sleeves.
Yeah. Toughing it out. Derek hit a home run at about 445 feet yesterday in Milwaukee. 2 balls, no strikes.
And with the conditions we have here at Wrigley tonight, he could hit the same ball and it might not get out of here.
We apologize, we're having some audio difficulties, but we are working feverishly to correct those as fast as we can. Three and one. Marlon Byrd, a former National, is on deck. Desmond picks it up, and Dunn will have to tag Lee, and that's it. 8 pitches for Lannon in the first. Nothing. Here's Adam Dunn. He's had a lot of prior success here at Wrigley Field. Playing first base now for the Nationals. And he had 2 game-winning RBIs in their just completed series against the Dodgers. Yesterday, spectacular RBI groundout in the bottom of the first. And that was the only run of the game. 1-0 was the final.
You mentioned Dunn's past success in this ballpark. In 63 prior games here at Wrigley, 24 home runs, most of the tape measure variety.
Can make this park look really small. 1-2 on Dunn. Lots of homers, lots of walks, and a boatload of strikeouts. A right-hander on a 2-2. There's another strikeout for Dunn. And for Silva, he has K'd 3 of the first 4 he's faced. This Thursday, the Cubs welcome in the Diamondbacks here at Wrigley Field. Game time 1:20. But be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans get a Cubs drawstring bag. Compliments of Van Campen. There's Josh Willingham. You don't hear his name a whole lot when you talk about some of the better offensive left fielders in the National League. He is 3rd in the NL, having reached base 37 times already.
Saw the .305 batting average. He's drawn 17 walks in the early going this season as well.
Former Florida Marlin. 3 times he's hit at least 20 home runs in his career. That's a strike. It'd be nice if Carlos could get that call all night. And on that inside corner. I've said this before, we've talked about it, it bears repeating. The thing you really like about Carlos Silva, even if he does struggle, is that he makes you beat him with hits.
It may seem like a simple thing and a very obvious statement, but that's not the case with a lot of pitchers at the major league level. He throws strikes. He depends on his defense to make plays behind him. Even though he has 3 strikeouts in the first 4 hitters, I don't think I'd classify him as a strikeout pitcher. He pitches to contact. He wants to get his team on and off the field quickly.
Up in the air. This is going to be the first time an outfielder's even had to think about a ball as Terrio comes way in and makes the catch. Wow. There's that win for you. Willingham hit it straight up in the air. On a normal night, Soriano would have caught it probably 200 feet from home plate. I don't know if I've ever seen one quite like that here.
Well, a good lesson for all the defenders on the field tonight. Ryan Terrio goes sprinting out into shallow left field, then comes sprinting back into the infield to make a basket catch a couple steps away from second base. Boy, that is unbelievable. And hopefully Cubs outfielders especially learn something on that play. The ball is just not going to carry well tonight, especially those hit high in the air like that one was.
The 0-1 to Adam Kennedy is hit foul off to the left. Cubs get a break. Ryan Zimmerman tonight missing his 5th consecutive start with right hamstring tightness. Now, he did pinch hit yesterday, but with the cold weather, wouldn't have made much sense to push it. He might be back in the lineup by Wednesday. And as Bob mentioned, Pudge Rodriguez a late scratch. Pudge is leading the majors in batting average at .411.
Yeah, both those guys available perhaps off the bench later in the game to pinch hit. But with these conditions today, we saw Pudge out here warming up before the ball game, tried to take batting practice, came up with some stiffness in his back, and Jim Riggleman decided not to take a chance with the league's leading hitter.
If you kind of forgot about Adam Kennedy last year, it was because he was with the Oakland A's in the American League. Played in 129 games. That's caught by Marlon Byrd. 6 up, 6 down for Carlos Silva. Midway in the second, we are scoreless. Lyonnaise takes on Bayern Munich. I got it. Got it right. Tune in as the French crusade for another huge upset on their quest for the finals. Olympique Lyonnaise and Bayern Munich live tomorrow at 1:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. That is a challenge right there, keeping score with mittens. Again, we apologize for the audio difficulties. Continue to work on it. Breaking ball from Lannon to Bird. A called strike. Marlin with a rare day off yesterday. Cubs scored 12 anyway. He hopes to stay hot. 4 consecutive games of at least 2 hits. And he batted .500 on the just completed trip. Lou admits it's a good problem to have, but he's trying to keep 5 outfielders happy. And one interesting note, we'll probably see Xavier Nady get a start against one of the right-handers Tuesday or Wednesday. It's deep to left. Is it going to carry? It's going to be over Willingham. As well as you can hit a ball to left tonight, as Bird kept it low for a stand-up double.
Keep it low, watch it go. That's your best chance of getting a ball over the head of an outfielder tonight, is to hit a low line drive, and that's exactly what Marlon Byrd does. Middle of the plate fastball. Yeah, lightning quick swing. I mention it all the time. He's so compact, very little movement with his lower body. It's all about his hands and that bat getting through the hitting zone.
Now Ramos Ramirez trying to up his batting average right now at 139. Among qualifiers in the National League, he is dead last. Now that will not continue, but we almost had the top hitter in the National League and the bottom hitter on the field tonight. He can take solace in the fact that Mark Teixeira and Nick Johnson are hitting worse. So he's only 3rd worst in the majors, but Mark Teixeira, Bob, is under $120.
It's early.
It is early.
You know, you hang your hat on the fact that all those guys you mentioned that are near the bottom have track records. And they've proven throughout the course of their career that even when they get off to a slow start, at some point they're going to pick it up. Ramirez has shown some signs lately. A couple of soft base hits, some hard hit balls to the outfield for outs. getting some better at bats, some deeper at bats.
1-2 on Aramis. Obviously, you want your number 5 hitter to drive in runs, drive the ball, but it would be nice to see him move Bird to third at the very least on a night in which 1 or 2 runs may be all you need.
Well, and based on the way that everybody in the National League has been pitching Aramis Ramirez, it would figure to be a good opportunity for him to move the ball to the right side of the field, move Marlon Byrd over to third base, and give Alfonso Soriano an opportunity to drive in a run from third.
The kick and the 1-2 is low. Just to follow up on the Nady story. Basically, he's been the guy to start against lefties. In the corner spots in the outfield, can play first. But Lou wants to get him in against a righty because he said if you play too much against lefties, you start pulling off the ball a little bit. And he wants to keep that stance closed. So look for Nady to be in there over the next couple of days.
You mentioned Marlon Byrd had the day off yesterday. Tyler Colvin started in his place, and it was a real comment on the kind of teammate and the kind of guy that Marlon Byrd is. When Colvin hit his home run, Marlon Byrd was the first guy on the top step of the dugout to greet him. He's really taken the youngster under his wing, teaching him the finer points of outfield play, the mental part of hitting, what to look for when you're up there at the plate, what teams are likely to try to do against you in certain situations.
Payoff pitch into center and very well hit and over Morgan. He misjudged it. Bird's going to trot home easily, and Ramirez has a double. That ball really took off on Niger Morgan, and the Cubs have the lead 1-0.
That big scoreboard in center field acting somewhat as a shield to the wind here. Ramirez also keeps his drive low into center. You can see Morgan came in a couple steps and reversed engines, tried to get back and could not make the leaping catch. Back-to-back doubles here to start the second inning for the Cubs.
Another former National, when Soriano was there. They made their home at RFK Stadium in 2006. Ball one. And a very good stretch here lately. Swing and a miss. Career best 46 home runs in 06 for the Nationals. And Alfonso turned that into a huge free agent contract with the Cubs. This is his 4th year of an 8-year deal. 1-1, high in the air. Morgan makes the catch and throws to third with Ramirez headed there, and he'll get in.
Hey fans, tickets are selling quickly, but there's still time to get great seats for April and May games, in particular the series against the Washington Nationals tomorrow and Wednesday. Bleacher seats are still available as well. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Heads up base running that time by Aramis Ramirez on that high, lazy fly ball to center field. Niger Morgan is fast, but he doesn't have a great throwing arm.
0-1 on Soto, who hit one of the Cubs' 4 home runs yesterday. The Nationals bring their infielders in, not all the way to the grass. They want to cut down the potential second run of the game. Already down 1-0. Lannon was the Nationals' opening day starter. As Bob mentioned, off to a subpar start according to his standards. 33 starts last year. Good block by Nieves. He went 9-13, but again, on a team that lost over 100 games, he had a 3.88 earned run average. Just missed. Full count.
As you said, pitching for a poor team. He's 10 games under 500 in his career, but his ERA is under 4. You talk to scouts and hitters around the National League, and they know how good this guy can be.
Soto draws yet another walk. He came in with an on-base percentage of .527.
That almost appeared to be one of those unintentional, intentional walks. A right-handed hitter that's been red hot in Giovanni Soto at the plate. Lefty and Tyler Colvin in the on-deck circle. One out in the inning. Sets up a potential double play here if he can get Colvin to hit the ball on the ground.
Big weekend in Milwaukee for Tyler. 2 home runs. Here was one of them.
We had a real loud one to center field and then pulled the ball deep into the bleachers in right field. He's managed to keep that smooth swing that he was featuring down in Arizona in the Cactus League, even though he's had sporadic playing time up here at the major league level early this season.
Two and one on Colvin, who will take a little time out of his day tomorrow, and he'll be glad he did. As the Cubs and the McCormick Foundation will hold a grant luncheon and announce more than $1 million in donations to area nonprofit organizations. I've been a part of that the last several years. It's a very rewarding couple of hours, and Tyler will be there to help hand out a lot of money to charity. Lannon's 3-1, misses low. He's walked 2 straight, has to face a pitcher with the bases loaded. So we'll see how Carlos Silva does. There's a double and an RBI on the year. We know he likes to swing big.
And thinking about Tyler Colvin and that outfield rotation, a couple of things that really work in his favor. Number one, he can play all 3 positions and play them well. And number 2, he's got enough arm to play right field. A lot of times a guy that plays the corners maybe can play left, but you don't like his arm from right field. But that's not the case with Tyler Colvin. He's very adept at all 3 outfield positions.
Carlos Silva is from Venezuela, born in Bolivar, Venezuela. You might say, well, he probably hates playing in the cold weather. Well, he lives in Medina, Minnesota in the offseason. So he went through the same winter we did, basically. His wife is from there. 2 balls, no strikes. He finds an indoor facility to work out in the offseason.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, he's not playing catch in the snow, but a night like this not bothering him too much. Steve McCaddy, the pitching coach, heading out, telling John Lannon, you better throw some strikes.
I'll tell you, those 2 line drive doubles to start this inning may have scared Lannon out of the strike zone. You know, you come out here to Wrigley Field as an opposing pitcher, you look at the flags. It's a very cold, brisk evening here, and you think, oh, what a good night to pitch, and then you see back-to-back doubles rocketing off the wall in left and center field, and suddenly you say, well, wait a minute. Now he's been nibbling at the edges of the strike zone and has himself in a bases-loaded jam here.
Big 2-0 pitch. That's wide. 3-0 on the pitcher. That missed badly, and Silva gets his second RBI of the year as Lannon forces in a run. Well, that's huge.
Plus, it keeps the pressure on, keeps the line moving. You roll around to the top of the order now with all kinds of opportunities to break this game wide open. I know the feeling. Oh, man.
Ryan Theriot rounded out his first time. He hasn't made a lot of outs lately. That's a curve for a strike. Ryan came in having gone 5 for 6 yesterday and with 14 hits over his last 5 games. And he went 0-2.
Tried to check his swing. Obviously got that bat out in front of home plate too far. He's going to have to battle now, down 0-2.
Already some stretching going on in the visitors' bullpen. Only in the second inning. Lannon went to Siena College, born in Long Beach, New York, and was an 11th rounder in 2005. Popped into shallow right. Willie Taveras gets behind the ball. Here comes the throw to the plate. And it's going to be in time to get a sliding Giovanni Soto. I remember Willie Taveras throwing out 3 Cubs in Houston one weekend. They do get 2. It's 2-0.
only 2 errors. We know that he's got a tremendous throwing arm and occasionally tries to make the fantastic play when he shouldn't, but he's been very steady defensively as well.
He has helped the Smokies to a 14-3 record. The Nationals have a couple of guys at Double-A who won't be there very long. Steven Strasburg, the #1 overall pick, and Drew Storen, their closer of the future. Both are lights out guys. Probably will be up here in the middle of the summer. Called strike on Will Nieves. Getting the late call to start in place of Pudge Rodriguez. Silva working with a 2-0 lead. Called strike. Nieves needs a second. Did not like that strike call by Greg Gibson.
Now, Landon has had some borderline pitches in the early going that Nieves was asking Greg Gibson where the pitches were, so he knows better than anybody other than Giovanni Soto where that zone is.
A roller up the middle, gobbled up by Terrio, who throws across for the out.
Watch the Cubs take on the Diamondbacks this Friday, April 30th at 1:20 at Wrigley Field. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs W banner, compliments of Comcast Sportsnet.
Now Willie Taveras, who saved a run by throwing out Soto at the plate. If you remember, in 2005, so 5 years ago when he was with Houston, he threw out one Cub in every game of a 3-game series at the plate.
From center field with the Houston Astros, and he's got the same arm from right field. Strong and accurate on a couple of bounces to Nieves, and I tell you, Giovanni Soto, I'm kind of surprised he went right there or was sent.
Terrio makes another play, 2 outs, with the pitcher coming up.
So back up the middle of the field. Terrio gets in front of it in pretty good shape right there. No problem. But no waste of time either with Willie Taveras running.
I think the second time through, Bob, you're going to see the Nationals swinging early and often. They have taken a lot of called strikes from Carlos Silva, who has already proven tonight that he's going to be around the zone. Where was that one?
I don't know. The floating strike zone tonight.
Let me ask you this. With the wind blowing like it is, and as hard as it is, does it affect pitches?
No, I don't think it affects pitches when it's blowing behind the pitcher. I think it really can affect pitches when it's blowing into the pitcher's face. Now, that's when the rotation on the baseball really gets exaggerated, and a sinker that usually drops 6 to 8 inches might drop 10 to 12 inches. A curveball that might break a foot to 14 inches suddenly breaks 18 inches. So I don't think it really affects it that much when it's blowing behind the pitcher.
Ryan Terrio for the 3rd time in the inning. 3 ground ball outs, all to Terrio in a 9-pitch third for Silva.
There you see Giovanni Soto. Well, he and Aramis Ramirez's favorite post-game destination for a great burger is Harry Carey's Tavern. Visit Harry Carey's Tavern in Wrigleyville or Navy Pier, the official home plate of the Chicago Cubs. Call 773-HOLY-COW or visit harrycareystavern.com for reservations.
Baker, Lee, and Bird against John Lannon, who had all kinds of trouble in the second after an easy first. I think the Nationals actually feel like they got off okay with the 2 runs the Cubs got. Could have been a lot worse. Called strike on Baker. Is coming off a 3-for-21 trip and is 0-for-1 tonight. Carlos Silva hasn't allowed a base runner through 3. To right, that should get down fair for Baker. And he is going to try for 3. And he'll get there. As Taveras missed the cutoff, man, it wouldn't have mattered. So the Cubs continue to hit for extra base power. That's their 3rd extra base hit already.
That ball is up. Belt high over the heart of the plate, shoots it past Taveras all the way down into the corner. I was a little worried the wind might push that one foul, but Baker hit it pure enough that it did not slice down that right field line. No doubt he's going to try to go for 3, and fortunately Taveras' throw sailed over the cutoff man, making it an easy triple.
Infield coming in again, this time against Derek Lee. Halfway in all around. Good block by Nieves. Cubs and Sox making news today. The 6-game crosstown rivalry now has an official name, the BP Crosstown Cup. So the winner of the yearly Crosstown Series will win a trophy. That starts this year. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Desmond, who looks at Baker before throwing to Adam Dunn. 1 out. Okay.
Oh,
the story is, that's not a milk mustache. Cubs legend Ron Santo cut himself shaving. He says it's the first time in his life, and he's 70, that he has cut himself in the upper lip while shaving.
Oh, that's too good.
And was bleeding profusely and lose office before the game. So he tried to find him I think it's called styptic, right? A styptic pen or pencil or whatever you want to call it. And apparently he couldn't find one. Skeptic. Yeah.
Skeptic. Yeah.
He said skeptic.
Oh, boy.
But apparently it was still bleeding. I hope he takes that off before he sings the 7th inning stretch. Actually, it'd be better if he left it on. Bouncer up the middle. Baker heading home. The throw's got to go to first, and it's late as Guzman didn't really know what to do. And that's an infield hit and an RBI for Bird.
He took a peek at home plate. He thought about throwing across his body toward the dish to try to cut that run off. Realized he probably wasn't going to be able to make a good throw. And that little bit of a delay gave Marlon Bird all the time he needed to leg it out at first base for an RBI base hit. You know, every person in the world should be fortunate enough to have somebody at their workplace like Ronnie. He makes coming to work fun every day. You never know what's going to be going on.
The thing that concerns me is that it was bleeding at like 4:30. It's almost 8 o'clock. Must have got a bad spot.
Yep. Put a tourniquet on his neck.
Desmond, Guzman, done. That's a double play, and that's the inning. The Cubs get one, and Ronnie finally stopped the bleeding.
Or later.
We're having fun tonight at the ballpark. The Cubs opening a 7-gamer, 3 against the Nationals. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks come in Thursday to start a 4-game weekend set. Second time through the order, 1-1 on Niger Morgan. Marlon Byrd with an infield RBI single to make it 3-0. There's the bunt by Morgan, and Ramirez might as well just eat it, and he does. That's their first hit. A perfect bunt single from Niger Morgan. They have a couple of guys, Willie Taveras the other, elite bunters.
You really, they use the old baseball saying you have to take it away from him. You have to come in so far from third base that you're in a position where it's not even a temptation for him to bunt. I mean, Ramirez was a couple steps in front of the bag, but that's not close enough. Niger Morgan will still drop that ball down the third base line and deaden it just like he did on that
one. Morgan's 2009 season ended here at Wrigley Field in late August. He fractured his left hand on a headfirst slide. And he was pretty devastated. I was talking with Pat Listash, the third base coach, before the game. Niger Morgan is a former junior hockey player. He never wants to come out. And Pat said he was at third base after sliding, never said a word to him about his hand. There's a base hit. They have 2 on with nobody out. Pat said Morgan said nothing about the hand. I think he scored a run, and then when Listash went into the dugout, Jim Riggleman said, did he say anything to you? Pat said no. He said, I think he has a broken hand. So that's his mentality. And I think he's trying to stop sliding head first because of that break. I know you're all for that.
You know, it's a hard habit for some guys to break. They get used to going into bags head first, but it's just so dangerous.
So the first problem for Silva tonight, and he would be best served getting Guzman done off to a slow start, but we know of his power even with the wind blowing in. That's a strike. 0-2 on Christian Guzman.
Well, you can really expand the zone on Guzman. Now, this is a guy that almost refuses to take a base on balls. 13 strikeouts, only 2 walks this season.
And he pops it up as Soriano comes in and makes the play. Time now for our AT&T trivia question. Can you name the 2 players in the history of the Nationals Expos franchise to have a 30 or better game hitting streak? Franchise history dates back to 1969 when they began as the Montreal Expos.
You know this one?
I know one, and I guessed at the other one and didn't get it. Lined into right, a base hit. And the bases are loaded. Colvin had to really play that on a hop. If he tried to catch it and missed it, it would have gone all the way to the wall.
You mentioned it, Len. The Nationals likely to be more aggressive the second time through the lineup because Silva was throwing a lot of first pitch strikes the first time through the lineup, and that's exactly what they're doing here against Silva. They have to mix in some first pitch sliders, some first pitch changeups, or sinkers out of the zone.
More important business to attend to, but I'll give you a hint. It's 1 National and 1 Expo on that list. The 30 game hitting streaks. So think about that. Outside on Josh Willingham.
Well, my 2 guesses would have been Rusty Staub and Tim Raines, but probably wrong on both counts.
You are correct on that. If that helps. Yeah, I guess Tim Raines, and that is not one of them.
Good changeup that time from Silva. That's one way to slow down an aggressive swinging team the second time through the order when you've been throwing a lot of first pitch strikes.
Josh Willingham already has a grand slam this year and 5 in his career. He had a weird one a week ago Sunday at Citi Field in New York. Ball hit off the wall in center. There were 2 collisions at home plate. And then they later went back and looked at the replay and said, oh, yeah, it was a grand slam. And now Silva has to throw a strike. It's 3-1 with the bases loaded.
And as I mentioned earlier, Willingham is a guy that will take a base on balls if you don't throw him a strike. It has to be a quality strike, though, in this situation.
Silva's 3-1, and he just forced in a run with his first walk. Well, he's upset. And Larry Rothschild is coming out. It's 3-1. So let's look at Bob, probably the most bizarre play of the early season. A week ago Sunday, this was a grand slam, but it sure didn't look like it early on, did it?
Well, it didn't feel like it to Mets catcher Rod Barajas either. You're going to see the end of this play. He gets bowled over not only one time, but as the ball gets away, here comes Willingham. He gets run into again at home plate. All for naught. Replay said it was a home run. That was one of the more bizarre plays we've seen in a long time period. Only this year.
And they are still loaded for Adam Kennedy. Now the tying run is at second base. The Nationals again tonight without their best player, Ryan Zimmerman. And a guy hitting over 400, yet they're threatening big time here in the fourth inning. That's hit very well. Bird's going to catch it, but he's backpedaling as he makes the grab, and his throw has to go to Terrio. Desmond scoring on a sac fly. It's 3-2. Marlon Byrd is as good as any outfielder in getting behind the baseball, and he's not happy with himself right now as he caught that ball on his heels.
I don't think there's any question that the conditions here tonight played a factor on this ball. Marlon wanted to make sure that that thing didn't get over his head. Kind of held his ground out there when normally he would back up a little bit. The wind blowing, just too many factors to consider out there on that hard hit line drive to medium depth center field. I mean, we saw a Ramos Ramirez ball shoot over Nigel Morgan's head, a very similar low line drive like that one.
Yeah, you're right, Bobby. He had a lot of factors working against him. On a night like this, your tendency is to not go straight back, but come in, especially after we watched Ryan Terrio earlier. That's to third. And Ramirez throws out Nieves. The Nationals are back in the game. 3 singles, a bases loaded walk, and a sac fly, and it's 3-2. Carlos Silva still has a lead, but he gave up 2 in the top of this inning. Cubs will try to respond. Soriano, Soto, and Colvin against John Lannon. 25-year-old lefty. Ball 1 low to Soriano, who picked up, rather flied out to center his first time, but did move Ramirez to third base on the out. Three and 0 on Soriano. The pitch off the outside corner, and that's a leadoff walk as we answer the AT&T trivia question. .30-game hitting streaks. There have been 2 of them in Nationals/Expos history. Ryan Zimmerman hit in 30 straight last year, and Vladimir Guerrero once did it as an Expo. I, like you, guessed Tim Raines. So now you know.
Now you know. Should have got Zimmerman. Vladimir Guerrero is a little bit of a surprise. He's such a free swinger. You'd think somewhere before 30 games, he would chase some bad pitches and get himself out.
The other guy, I guess, Bob, was Al Oliver. They were in 2 full seasons with the Expos in the early 80s, but apparently he did not have a 30-game hitting streak. He did, however, lead the league with 204 hits in 1982. Al Oliver had 2,743 hits.
Oh, he could rake. I mean, flat rake. I think I told the story before. He came over to the Giants towards the ends of his career and took batting practice and played most of his spring training games in a pair of tennis shoes and still hit better than anybody else in the Cactus League and did not lack for confidence. He was a joy to have in the advance meetings. You'd go over opposing pitchers. And since he was a veteran player and had faced all the opposing pitchers so many times, we referred to his judgment many, many times.
2-2 on Soto.
They called him Scoop. Scoop, how do you do against Fernando Valenzuela? Ha! We got an agreement. He throw it and I wax it.
That is tailor-made. The irony, as we often say, about a tailor-made double play ball is that it's usually hit very hard. But in that case, right at Ian Desmond.
And that's why in a potential double play situation, most pitchers will try to work from the middle of the plate away. They want the batter to put the ball in play hard on the ground. If you come inside on a hitter in a double play situation, you have a better chance of jamming the hitter, and he's going to hit a slow ground ball. Another Al Oliver-ism. We'd ask, what does this pitcher try to do to you? Usually he just throws it and then backs up third. And if you check the career stats, he wasn't lying.
Oh, yeah, he hit over 300.
He was a great basketball player, tried out for the Dallas Mavericks.
And he's from your home state of Ohio, Portsmouth, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. He's the real short, big-barreled bat, stood right on top of the plate, dared pitchers to try to come inside on.
The thing I love about our AT&T trivia, got some great Al Oliver stories, and he wasn't even the answer. We're going to continue to push this one into the seats. That's drilled down the right field line as Colvin stays hot. He's making the turn and on his way to third. Cubs have a couple of triples tonight. That's of a standing variety. And it makes you dream about yesterday, doesn't it? If he had done that in his final at bat, he would have hit for the cycle.
Well, he's got the 2-day cycle. We'll call it a 2-day cycle. He did make a bid for extra bases his last at bat of that ball game yesterday, lining out to Prince Fielder at first. This one hit much harder and in a much better spot. Look at him busted out of that batter's box. In a busy evening already for Willie Taveras down there in the right field corner. This time the relay throw short hops the second baseman. No chance to get Colvin at third anyway.
Silva very patient his first at bat. He took 4 bad ones and forced in a run, but this time around, runner at third, 2 outs. He's going to swing hard. 1-1. And he got him on a curveball for strike 3. A walk and a 2-out triple, but no runs. 3-2 Cubs after 4. If you are the 500th texter, you could win 5 $5 footlong subs from Subway.
Hey, Cub fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. You'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season, so go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today.
Taveras will start it. He's the 8 hitter. Then the pitcher Lannon, followed by Nyjer Morgan. Cornerman in against Taveras. He likes to bunt his way on. 122 bunt hits since 2005. A slicing fly, pretty well hit to right as Tyler Colvin runs it down.
We talked about it earlier in the ball game. Tyler Colvin, a guy that's comfortable in all 3 outfield positions. Very soft on his feet. You don't see his head bouncing up and down. He's able to track that ball all the way down into the right field corner for an easy out.
Right back to Silva. And look for Silva to throw a couple right down the middle and expect Morgan to take at least one. He doesn't want this to be a quick 4 or 5 pitch inning. He wants to give his pitcher Lannon a little extra time. And this is the kind of night where you just say, here you go, try to hit it. Morgan's not a home run hitter.
I think that's the approach on Nyjer Morgan most of the time anyway. Throw it up and out over the plate. Let him see how far he can hit it to the opposite field in the air. Very similar in that respect to Juan Pierre. Very similar to Juan Pierre in a lot of respects. There's his pants the same way.
Late on that swing, 0-2.
Runs like the wind. Well, that is a key at bat. If you can get that opposing pitcher to make a quick out on one pitch.
And Morgan is on. He'll probably test Silva and Soto as he represents the tying run. He's 2 for 3.
It's actually not a bad pitch from Silva. A sinker that started at the knees in the middle of the plate and was working its way toward that outside corner. Nyjer Morgan just slapped it back up the middle of the field for a base hit.
Silva checks on him. Carlos has given a lot of credit to his new pitching coach, Larry Rothschild. His problems the last couple of years. He had shoulder issues last year, but even when he was healthy, he was not getting good results. He had a terrible spring training debut against the White Sox, but he has worked very hard with Larry. They had tweaked his mechanics a little bit, and Larry had a very specific idea of what he wanted Silva to do, and he's followed it. And you can tell, Bob, he's a much confident pitcher, and it seems to be growing every start. Baker trying to run it down, and he knocks it down. Morgan will end up at third. He was over towards second, so had to run a long way for that Desmond ground ball. And that's a base hit.
We talk all the time, Len, about the effect of speed on this game. You can see where Jeff Baker was positioned in the event Nyjer Morgan tried to steal. Baker was going to be the cover man at second base. Had a long way to go to get to that slow ground ball, and unfortunately was only able to knock it down. And look at Tyler Colvin coming in from right field. Baker had to stop his momentum, turn around, and run back toward the infield. In the meantime, there comes the Cubs right fielder in to make the play.
I think Silva almost has to work a little harder against a guy like Guzman. As you indicated earlier, Guzman wants to put the ball in play, and Silva throws a lot of pitches in the zone. So he might have to expand that zone. He has gotten him twice on a ground out to third and a fly ball to left. Let's put it this way. With Silva on the mound, pretty good chance the ball's going to be put in play. And with Guzman at the plate, ditto. So you hope he hits it at somebody.
Maybe down, I don't know. Pretty good to me.
A 1-1. Terrio is out. Soriano's in, and Ryan calls him off, and that's the inning. They get a couple of two-out hits to start a rally, but don't score. It's 3-2 Cubs midway in the fifth. Mark, thank you. 3-2 Cubs as they bat against John Lannon in the fifth. Ryan Terrio hits it. It's fair, and he's tagged out. Is he hurt? I don't think he realizes he's out. Ball landed right in front of home plate, and I think Ryan thought he fouled it off himself. Greg Gibson said no.
Lou's going to ask for an explanation from home plate umpire Greg Gibson. We'll have the opportunity to take a look at the replay. Lou's just asking for some help from the other umpires, but I think Ryan Theriot was just trying to sell that right there. He realized that he was going to be out. Like it hit behind the back foot. I don't know. He's selling it real good.
Wow.
Yeah.
He will keep his day job as a baseball player. Probably not taking acting lessons down the road. Here's a pitch to Baker. That's low and outside. Still not as funny as Ron Santos' mouth, but
I mean, I've been there before. It's a little embarrassing when you take a full swing and drive the ball 2 inches in front of home plate and are tagged out before you can even get out of the batter's box, so you might as well try to fake like it hit you.
Sure. Guzman throws out Baker. See, I just wanted to see that again. Oh, brother. It's getting smaller. That's good.
I told Ron, you should never be allowed to handle razor blades. He said he usually does use an electric razor, but for some reason today he didn't.
Good dig by Dunn on the long toss by Desmond. Still 3-2 Cubs after 5. Broadcasters stick together. Ron Santo to know that. As Adam Dunn leads off for the Nationals. We're right there with you, Ronnie.
Don't want you to feel alone. You know, this is one of those things, Glenn, that seemed like a good idea at the time, but I just realized I'm going to pull off half of my mustache when I take this tape off.
Be a new fashion trend. I like it. Popped up by Dunn. They had the big shift on, so Ryan Theriot, who's been very busy, goes out, and Bird calls him off. Tomorrow night, it's do or die for the Bulls as they take on the Cavs in Game 5. Tune in as Joakim Noah returns to Cleveland. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Bulls pregame live. Don't miss Game 5, Bulls-Cavs, tomorrow night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. One away, here's Josh Willingham, who forced in a run with a bases-loaded walk 2 innings ago, a big swing and a miss. Off the plate inside. If the score is around the one we have right now as we get into the late innings, we will see Carlos Zambrano in setup after an off day yesterday. He needs a quilt. I think that towel's going to keep him warm. 3-1.
Boy, and with that in mind, Len, as you said, if the score stays around what we see right now, good chance we'll see Zambrano, and a good chance that he should start getting up and moving around in the very near future here. This is one of those nights, because he's unfamiliar with the role out there in the bullpen, getting up when the phone rings and starting to throw his warm-up pitches. You want to really make sure he has plenty of time, not only to get his throwing arm loose, but to get his legs, his back, get his entire body ready to go into the ballgame.
Willingham with a base hit.
Cub fans, don't miss your chance to be part of the brand new PNC Club of Chicago. The newly built club, located down the third base line, offers high-end catering, full-service top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, call 773-404-4200.
A little hit and run action as Kennedy protecting Willingham. Although Josh is 4 out of 4 in stolen bases, that looked like a hit and run.
You have to believe it's a hit and run for Kennedy to chase a ball that far out of the zone. That was going to be a good pitch for Giovanni Soto to handle and throw to second base, but Kennedy wasted out a play on the third base side.
Kicks away from Soto and allows Willingham to get the second on a wild pitch, according to Bob Rosenberg. Good to see Rosie as our official scorer, I believe, for the first time this season.
Remember that he's been here at Wrigley before this year. Tough bounce that time for Giovanni Soto. Do the best you can to square your body up in front of that baseball, and sometimes it just hits you in a bad spot. First wild pitch of the season. Wild pitch for Silva.
Ground ball to Baker as he backs up. Gets the out. Jeff kind of got caught a little bit in between, decided to back up. Unfortunately, did not get a bad bounce at the end.
It's a luxury you have at second base that you do not have at the other infield positions. Back up on a ball at shortstop, you're not going to have enough behind the throw across the diamond to probably get that base runner at first base. But at second, it's a shorter toss. You read that hop, try to get a good one, and if you have to back up at the last minute, you still probably have enough time to throw on to first for the out.
So Nieves coming up, and a bouncer up the middle. I was going to ask you if they would work around Nieves with a couple of bags open, but instead he jumps on the first pitch and ties the game at 3-3.
A rare bad pitch that time from Silva. Looked like a slider that just hung up over the heart of the plate. Bouncer right back up the middle of the field. You see Silva frustrated with himself. Most sinker ball pitchers are really good defenders. They know they're going to have a lot of opportunities to field comebackers out there on the mound. That time Silva looked like he was caught by surprise.
Terrio charges and gets a speedy Willie Taveras by less than a step. So they tie it up on the backup catcher's RBI hit. It's 3-3. .30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Will Nieves with a game-tying RBI single off Carlos Silva as we play the bottom of the 6th. Strike one on Marlon Byrd. Marlon Byrd with another 2-hit game as Sean Marshall cranks it up. 5 straight multi-hit games for Byrd, and his batting average is up to .356. The lanky lefty with a 1-1. That's a strike on a fastball at 87. 1-2. Comebacker knocked down by Lannon nicely. And he took away a hit from Marlon Byrd. Lannon immediately looked into the Nationals dugout as if to say, I'm fine, don't worry about it. Saying, I hit the heel of my glove, I'm okay.
And Marlon Byrd consistently hits the ball as hard as any Cub hitter. That time right back through the mound. They got him on the glove arm, perhaps as you said, the heel of the glove, and ricocheted off his arm. He tried to wave off the trainer. And now they're waving off Steve McCaddy, the pitching coach. What else do I have to do? I'm telling everybody I'm okay. Missed some of the action after the game? Go to Comcast On Demand for access to Comcast Sportsnet games ready to watch on your schedule. Don't have Comcast On Demand? Call 1-888-4BEST-TV today.
1 out, nobody on. Here's a Ramos outside corner strike. A couple of notes here. Members of the Chicago Fire Department are in attendance tonight as Ramirez bounces to Kennedy. And they, along with Ignite the Spirit, are planning a charity bike ride along Lake Michigan to raise funds for pediatric cancer awareness and research. You can visit bike2fight.com. So thanks to Pat Reardon from Engine 78 for that note. Soriano with 2 down. Also want to wish Peter Pauletti from Chicago a speedy recovery from surgery last week. Great Cub fan, and we hope he's enjoying the game tonight. And we got a nice big box of Cubs logo napkins and plates for our snacks in the booth. David and Sherry Webster from Speedway, Indiana. So, if we have a birthday party or something up here in the booth, we've got the party favors here.
I wonder what makes them think we have snacks up here in the booth.
There you go, the plates and the napkins.
Nice.
Go to the Websters.
To go get us a cake.
I was looking for the cake in the box, but that was not included. Ball 4, and Alfonso has walked twice tonight. Lannon has walked 5 total, including 1 with the bases loaded. Both pitchers have forced in a run with a bases loaded walk.
4 home runs hit in the ball game yesterday by the Cubs offense. One of them off the bat of Giovanni Soto to straightaway center field. He hit a bomb. Watching Soriano take his second walk in the ball game, giving him 6 on the season. I think back to when Soriano was struggling a couple of weeks ago, and Rudy Jaramillo kept saying it's all about pitch recognition. It's all about pitch recognition for Fonzie. He needs to see the ball a little better, get himself in a better position so he has more time to wait on the pitch, and he has done that lately, and that's why we've seen his offensive numbers climb. That's why we've seen him take some walks.
Cubs are blessed. They have one of the best pitching coaches, one of the best hitting coaches in the business. And Lou has pointed that out on many occasions. The entire staff does a great job. Larry's been here for 9 years. Rudy, 15 years in Texas before signing a multi-year contract over the winter. Soto lines, but Desmond makes the catch, and that's the inning. We're deadlocked at 3-3 as we head off to the 7th. Hey, Cub fans, this season it's easier than ever to find the seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago Cubs. You'll find great seats and great service on StubHub all season. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. Alberto Gonzalez is going to pinch hit for John Lannon. Silva's still in, but Sean Marshall is continuing to throw in the bullpen. Sean Burnett, a lefty, is up for the Pirates. Their closer's former Pirate closer, Matt Capps. Fair ball backhanded by Ramirez. He slings across. And they get Gonzalez. So Carlos Silva has gone at least 6 innings in all 4 starts. This is the first time he's allowed more than 1 earned run. Still could be a quality start if the Nationals don't get another earned run while he's out there. And this does snap a string of 10 consecutive games by the starters in which they allowed 2 or fewer earned runs. It was the longest such stretch for the Cubs since 2001. Morgan turns on it, hits it foul through the bullpen. More action out there. It's Tyler Walker, a righty. Bunted by Morgan. Ramirez was expecting it and bare hands and throws him out.
Yeah, much better anticipation that time by Aramis Ramirez. Number one, he was playing a couple steps closer than he was when Morgan bunted for a base hit back in the 4th inning and got a great jump when he saw Morgan squaring to bunt. Turns it into a relatively easy barehanded play if there is such a thing for a third baseman.
What's going on here? Ian Desmond has something in his eye. That can happen on a windy night.
Especially for those guys that wear contact lenses. Not sure if Desmond does wear contacts, but the slightest little piece of dust that blows in your eye feels like a boulder.
They'll get some eye drops and then try to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Sounds like fun. Jim Riggleman's going to make sure Desmond can continue.
Looks like everything's okay. Yeah, obviously Jim Riggleman, the manager's concerned. You don't want to give away an at-bat this late in the ball game, especially in a tie ball game. Any base runner becomes vitally important at this point of the game.
0-1 on Desmond.
Needs some eye drops on his foot now.
Shouldn't laugh. That hurts. Ooh. Well, he came back up and got him in the shin or the ankle. Close, but he didn't get it. 1-2.
Silva shook all the way around to get to this slider, and he throws it right there, outside corner at the knees.
Soto wants it down, and it was not down, and Desmond had a pretty good cut.
Yeah, on a pitch before, Soto called for a high fastball. Silva shook that off. Soto called for a fastball away, shook that off. Called for a sinker down and in, he shook that off. He shook off a changeup to get to that slider and threw a perfect pitch, but didn't get the call from the home plate umpire.
Bird goes back, still back on it, and he gets there. The waist-high grab as he hits the warning track. Here comes Ronnie with the stretch. Chicago Cub. A 3-3 tie in the bottom of the seventh. Colvin followed by pinch hitter Xavier Nady against lefty Sean Burnett. And then Ryan Theriot for the Cubs as you get a look at the numbers for this lefty.
7 previous games, only 3 2/3 innings, tells you he's a left-handed specialist. With Xavier Nady in the on-deck circle right now. Good chance Jim Riggleman's only going to allow Burnett to face Tyler Colvin starting this inning, and then we'll probably see the right-hander face Nady, at which point we'll probably get one of the Cubs lefties off the bench.
Colvin held up, 2 balls and a strike. Burnett came over from the Pirates along with Niger Morgan in exchange for right-hander Joel Hanrahan and outfielder Lastings Millage. That was last season, swing and a miss. 2-2 on Colvin.
You can tell he's a lefty just by looking at his hat.
A little askew. The Blackhawks have a way for you to catch the exciting playoff action live. Text playoffs to B-Hawks to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blackhawks home playoff game. That's playoffs to 242-957 for your chance to win the hottest ticket in town. Message and data rates Apply. Got him. And Tyler knew it on a fastball for the first out.
Burnett sneaky quick with that 91-mile-an-hour fastball right there, a four-seamer. Caught Tyler Colvin looking for something else. A lot of times when a left-handed hitter faces a left-handed specialist out of the other team's bullpen, you assume he's going to come in the game and throw you breaking pitches. That time Colvin got caught looking at a fastball.
So it will be Nady against Burnett. Former Pirate teammates Sean Burnett and Xavier Nady. Kind of chuckling yesterday. It was a laugher. The Cubs won 12-2 in Milwaukee, but Nady came up and pinch hit in the ninth and fouled out to first base on one pitch. 3 pitches this time, and he grounds out to short.
Time for our Home Depot doing more on defense. Chris Willingham lofted a high fly ball that looked like it was going to medium depth left field. Ryan Theriot went back, then had to come screaming in back toward the infield to make a basket catch and retire the Nationals left fielder.
The Lexus pursuing perfection call to the pen. Burnett did his job, retiring 2.
An Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcast. Visit Cubs.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details.
Tyler Walker has closed in the past, looking in middle relief for the Nationals as Ryan Theriot bunts through strike 1. Walker has fanned 13 over just 10 innings of work. Two down, nobody on, a 3-3 tie. Game 1 of 3 here at Wrigley. Cubs led 3-0 early. I think Stephen Hawking was talking about aliens. Did you read the story?
No, I stopped looking for him.
I wouldn't mess with him. Base hit into right for Ryan Theriot. Yeah, he said extraterrestrials are probably like Columbus, so we wouldn't want to get in their way. Something to keep in mind if you're ever traveling to Mars.
A very small sample size, Len, but Walker comes into this ball game to face Ryan Theriot, who was 1-for-1 lifetime against him, and now he faces Jeff Baker, who's 2-for-5 against the Nationals right-hander.
Baker with a triple and a run tonight. He grounded out his other 2 times. Got in on him, and Baker was able to fight it off as he will fly out to Morgan. We'll go to the 8th. Sean Marshall coming in a 3-3 tie.
The Bud Light Batter's Eye is a great option for entertaining in Chicago's unpredictable spring weather. The Bud Light Batter's Eye is also available for non-game day functions. To book your date or for more information, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200.
Another quality start for Carlos Silva. 7 innings, 3 runs. As Sean Marshall tries to keep this game tied, he faces Guzman, Dunn, and Willingham. Tough part of the Nationals order. The assumption, Bob, would be as we get near the bottom of the order that Jim Riggleman has the ability to use Ryan Zimmerman and or Pudge Rodriguez. Bounce to third. Ramirez bobbles, but still has time to get Guzman.
Well, the key is not to create any opportunities before we get to the bottom of that batting order where he would be tempted to use a couple of his better hitters off the bench.
Well, Pudge kind of has the look of a guy who won't be used at all, but you never know.
In this particular matchup we're witnessing now, Sean Marshall against Adam Dunn so far has gone all Sean Marshall's way. Dunn 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts against the Cubs lefty.
Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Adam Dunn, whose streak of 5 consecutive 40-homer seasons ended last year. He hit a measly 38. I don't know what happened to him. It's pretty good when a down year for you is 38 home runs. One thing that's probably not talked about enough when it comes to Adam Dunn is his durability. He's a guy who gives you 158 to 160 games almost every year. rarely sits. Well, that ball was almost caught by Jeff Baker out in shallow right. But Dunn pulled it a little bit too much for Baker to get it.
Jim Riggleman has used a pinch runner for Adam Dunn late in ball games when the Nationals have either needed a run or been in a tie game. He's going to have a few moments to think about it as Lou Piniella is going to make another pitch and clean.
Alexis pursuing perfection. Call to the pen. Here comes Big Z. Don't miss Sylvania Cubs postgame live from Wrigley Field immediately following the game, right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. A cold and clear night with the wind blowing straight in. A 3-3 tie late, and Carlos Zambrano in his second relief appearance of the season, facing Josh Willingham, and he gets a swing and a miss on a fastball at 92. Still keeping score with the mittens. I couldn't do that.
Keep score or wear mittens? Or keep score with mittens.
Right.
Yeah.
You're good.
Zambrano's first relief outing up in Milwaukee. Faced 7 batters in an inning and a third. Gave up a couple of hits and a walk. 1 run did score. Cubs had a comfortable lead in that game. A little different story tonight.
.94 on that heater, but it missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They gave up a run, but had a pretty good cushion to work with in an inning and a third 2 nights ago in Milwaukee. But as we said, he gave up a run, and he also knocked in one at the plate with a sac fly. Dunn getting his lead at first. High for ball 2. It's 2-2. Kennedy on deck. Ball foul into the upper deck.
This matchup is not based on past history. That is for sure, because Willingham has worn out Carlos Zambrano. 7 for 12 lifetime. That's a .583 batting average. A homer, a double, a triple. But if Big Z is going to be the 8th inning guy, he's going to have to face a lot of guys that maybe have had success against him in the past.
I think it was Adam Dunn who commented about yesterday's 1-0 Nationals win over the Dodgers. He said last year that's a game we would have lost. And I think tonight might be another example of how much they have improved. They were down 3-0 early. And a last place 100 loss team maybe last year or the year before might have just laid down, but they've come all the way back. Willingham held up. He checked his swing.
And I give all the credit to Jim Riggleman and his staff and the way they've approached this Washington Nationals team since last year when Riggleman took over. And we saw it when we were in Washington, Len. He had the team out early for workouts every day. Willingham shaking his head no that he didn't go on that check swing. What else is he going to do?
Runner went, base hit into left. Dunn is going to stop at second. Well, the Cubs got a break there, and that Adam Dunn was running from first and not one of their burners. There would have been first and third with one out. And we've got a situation behind the Nationals dugout. We saw a cap that had actually flown out of the dugout. Somebody in the Nationals dugout had his cap blown off his head onto the field. The first base coach, Dan Radisson, threw it into the stands. So they had to retrieve it and, in exchange, a couple of baseballs. Is that Dorothy? I think it was. Longtime Cub fan. Who's here every day.
She's the den mom for that first base dugout.
Popped up on the infield. The infield fly rule, so Kennedy's already out. It's caught for good measure by Terrio. 2 outs. That's a big one for Z.
Huge out right there. And just to finish that thought, Len, Jim Riggleman and his staff came in last year. They had pregame workouts. They had fundamental drills, cutoffs and relays, bunt defense, rundowns on the bases. And they've continued that this season. They take infield practice at home every day, which is a rarity in Major League Baseball nowadays. They continue to work on fundamentals as they see fit, and I think you're starting to see some of the results by the way the Nationals are playing the game and the kind of confidence they have in themselves to hang around with good teams late in the ball game this year.
And as we said earlier, they have Steven Strasburg, the fireballing right-hander, Drew Storen, who eventually will be their closer, and they have the top pick in the draft again this year because of their record last season. Fouled back by Nieves, who tied the game with an RBI single in the 6th. It's Brian Bruni with the bullpen coach in the background, Jim Lett. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Nieves. As the fans have been all night. High overthrew that fastball 3-2, and the runners will go with the pitch. Here it is. And Nieves fouled it off his foot. That's foul.
Sinker down and in from Zambrano right off of that left foot and down the third baseline fair. We go back to that 2-2 pitch when Zambrano clearly tried to overthrow a fastball, humped it up there at 94 miles an hour, but well out of the strike zone, and that allowed the Nationals the opportunity to get the runners in motion here with 2 outs and a full count on Nieves.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Z's pumped up as he gets his team back in the dugout in a 3-3 tie in the 8th. Mark, thank you very much. 3-3. Lee, Bird, and Ramirez. The Cubs try to grab the lead and get this game to the closer, Carlos Marmol, who's going to get loose. If this will take his sweatshirt off in the bullpen. How about a win for Carlos Zambrano? Cubs could get a run or two here in the 8th. Tyler Walker's 0-1 is low and outside to Derek Lee, who powdered one yesterday.
I mentioned 4 homers in the game by the Cubs. This one by far the longest, up in the second deck in deep left center field against Dave Bush.
Deep drive to right for Lee. Did he get enough of this one? No. Taveras almost into the well in right. A loud out to start the bottom of the 8th.
Thought it had a chance right there at that well area and straight away right field. Unfortunately, the wind pushed it over just enough that Taveras had room. You can see him moving away from the well area, makes the catch. Just a long out.
Ball 1 to Marlon Byrd. Well, the Brewers have gotten back to their winning ways. It's not over. In fact, they're only in the middle of the game, but they lead the Pirates again 8-2. They scored 4 runs in 3 games over the weekend after plating 36 at Pittsburgh last week. 6 of the 8 RBIs from Milwaukee belonging to the battery of Gallardo and Zahn. They have 3 apiece. 2-1. We'll see the Pirates for the first time next week in Pittsburgh. A lot of rain in New York as the Mets won a rain-shortened game last night against the Braves, and they got postponed tonight again against the Dodgers. Atlanta leads at St. Louis 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Called strike 3. Fastball freezes Bird. We are working with Bloomberg Sports to provide some of the most in-depth and compelling data analysis baseball has ever seen. Fans can get their own set of these new state-of-the-art tools from Bloomberg, built for fun and for fantasy play. Go to BloombergSports.com to get a preview and find out all the details. Well, a home run for Aramis, the only other at bat against Walker. To center and deep. Morgan back on the warning track. He's going to catch this one. And the weather just saying not tonight, as Ramirez and Lee both fly to the warning track. And we're going to see some pinch hitters for Washington. Willie Harris is going to bat for Willie Taveras. So Willie is still batting, but it's Harris instead of Taveras.
Harris for Taveras. 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter for Jim Riggleman this season. It's been a slow start to the year for Willie Harris, batting only .171.
As he golfs it foul into the upper deck, and Ryan Zimmerman, who did pinch hit yesterday but has missed 5 straight starts with tightness in his right hamstring, is on deck.
Zimmerman missed 3 starts earlier this year with tightness in his left hamstring.
Be interesting to see if this game goes into extras, and depending on the bottom of the 9th and where you are in the order, but how long Lou would consider going with Zambrano. You see Marmol is getting up. Bird in center. That ball is slicing. He lands right in his mitt. 1 out. I mean, at this point, Bob, Z could give you 2 or 3 or 4 innings, but that's not his role at the moment. And if you want to bring him back in 2 days, you don't want to go too long with him. still kind of a work in progress.
I think they would be more likely to extend Carlos because he's so recently removed from the rotation. A lot of it depends on what happens offensively for the Cubs in the bottom half of the ninth. Pitcher spot is due up fourth.
Soriano will lead off the bottom of the ninth. He's the sixth hitter. As a pinch hitter, Zimmerman takes ball one.
I mean, it's kind of a luxury to have Zambrano in this role right now because, as I said, he's so recently removed from the rotation. A lot of home managers will use their closer to save a tie. Lou really doesn't have to do that as long as he's confident that Zambrano has enough gas in the tank, and certainly he should. You can let Carlos go, as you said, a couple or 3 innings, depending on what you want to do offensively in the bottom half of the inning.
But then again, to play devil's advocate, if he throws 60 to 70 pitches and goes 3 innings tonight, can you bring him back Wednesday? I'm not so sure.
Probably not.
So that's the fine line. If he's your 8th inning guy, you kind of have to treat him that way. It's fascinating to watch, that's for sure. It's pretty rare to see what the Cubs have done here. Zimmerman hits it high. Bird and Colvin win, pushing that ball right to Tyler as he had to go all the way to the wall. Well, you see guys I think are trying to win this game with one swing, and it's not working.
Well, we have a great view of these drives to the outfield from up here in the press box. That ball started almost in straightaway center field, and Tyler Colvin actually did a real nice job of staying to the right field side of that baseball, letting the wind push it back to him and not getting too far under it and then having to make an emergency adjustment at the very end.
Morgan pops it up, and Ramirez just doesn't have room. Todd Hollinsworth almost caught it. Getting ready for the post-game show. Notice how the former major leaguer didn't even move. Everybody else around him diving for the ball. Terrio to lead, and the Cubs now can win it in the bottom of the ninth. The Z retires now 5 in a row. It's 3-3. Bruni.
Look at the numbers for Bruni. He has problems throwing strikes. 9 walks in 8 1/3 innings. That's been kind of his career issue. He rarely gets hit hard, but he will put base runners on base.
Last year, Bruni went 5-0 in 44 games for the world champion Yankees. He was on the DL twice early. with elbow issues as he faces Alfonso Soriano. Here we go, ball one. Soriano has taken 2 walks tonight and is officially 0-for-1. Rooney, a former Diamondback and Yankee. Nationals got him over the winter from New York. Ball 3. Do you green light him on a night like this?
No.
Not in this spot.
No, you need base runners. You need somebody to get on base, create some havoc for the Nationals defensively.
The leadoff man is on. A 4-pitch walk. And Soto is not going to bat. It's going to be Coy Hill. And a possible bunt situation, maybe. We'll see as Mike Quade comes right over to the on-deck circle.
That would seemingly be the only explanation that Coy Hill is considered a better bunter than Giovanni Soto. Soto has been the hot hitter. But right now, Lou's looking for somebody to move Soriano into scoring position for Tyler Colvin, a pinch hitter, and in the top of the order. We touched on this a few days ago. Some managers choose to use a starting pitcher in this situation if indeed Coy Hill is up there to bunt. Ryan Dempster is by far the best sacrifice bunter that the Cubs have.
Strike one. See Ryan Dempster right here on Comcast Sportsnet on the mound Wednesday afternoon. I'm going to throw to second. And get the out.
No.
Yeah, but Desmond pulled his foot off the bag. But Jerry Davis was right there and made the call.
High throw to second base, and oh man,
well, I think he was off. I don't think he had his toe on the bag.
And unfortunately for the Cubs, I don't think second base umpire Jerry Davis was in the best position to possibly make that call. Desmond was stretching back toward the pitcher's mound to take that throw, and it looked like Jerry Davis didn't really get that good of a look at the play at second base. Yeah, he's off the bag.
So a fielder's choice on the bunt by Coy Hill. Here's Tyler Colvin, who has walked, tripled, and struck out. The Nationals are in double play depth. A big swing by Colvin, strike one.
We've seen a lot of home run swings and a lot of efforts to hit a home run here late in this ballgame. I think if there is going to be a home run hit, it's going to have to go to right field. There's too much wind blowing straight in from left field right now to have an honest chance for a right-handed pull hitter.
Kosuke is in Zambrano's spot behind Colvin.
The wind speed has varied throughout the ball game, probably blowing as hard now as it has been all night.
Short lead by Hill at first. The kick and the 0-2 a little bit away. Rooney 6'3", 235. And the 28-year-old righty got him. A called third for the second out.
Frustration on the part of Tyler Colvin. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Tough to hit right down there at the bottom of the kneecaps in the low 90s.
Coach K had a hot weekend in Milwaukee. And today turning 33 years old.
Got in on the homer parade yesterday in Milwaukee as well. From the left center field. Pulled a home run to right field earlier in that series. He's one of those right about now.
Into center, Morgan will make the play on the move, and we're going to head to extras from Wrigley. Carlos Marmol will take the ball in the 10th. It's 3-3.
And Carlos Marmol will be throwing to the new catcher, Coy Hill, who pinch hit for Giovanni Soto. Marmol has been really good, to say the least. 9 2/3 innings, 19 punch-outs already this season, has only surrendered 5 base hits.
And 4 walks. That was a big problem for him last season. He's a shortstop. Desmond shows bunt and takes a strike. You see what the Nationals like to do in a lot of different spots in the order. Got some thump in the middle. And Desmond and Morgan and Guzman. Tavares. They can all run, and they like to lay down bunt hits. Thought Z was better tonight than he was Saturday. The results were better. He looked like a reliever tonight. Very aggressive, throwing hard.
Deflector shield slider from Marmol right underneath the bat of Desmond there.
On the way. Call that the Desmond 2-2. Been waiting all night to say that as he flies out to Tyler Colvin.
You didn't force it in there, partner. I'm proud of you.
I almost missed it. Kept waiting for my chance. Brings up Guzman. started the night at 309 and just over 290. That one got away from Carlos. 2 balls, no strikes.
I want you to hit the mascot. That was a Nuke Lelouch fastball right there, all the way to the backstop, untouched by human hands.
2-1. Marmol is tied with Tyler Clippard of the Nationals for the major league lead among relievers with those 19 strikeouts. A fly ball. And Tyler Colvin has made a couple of putouts in this inning.
They'll end before the Cubs come back and win this one in the bottom of the 10th. On this date in baseball history, 1941, Wrigley Field was the first ballpark to use a ballpark organ to entertain the fans. Tradition that continues to this day with Gary Pressey entertaining the fans before, during, and after the ball games.
Dunn is 2 for 4, and that's fair as it kicks off the sidewall. Colvin picks it up. Dunn on his way to second, and he gets in. The ball kicks away, but right to Ramirez. So Dunn's had a good night. 3 for 5. He came in at 210, but is heating up. Gary Pressey has really carried on that tradition and is the best in the business.
No question about it.
Pitch to Willingham is a strike. That's a slider from Marmol. There's the organ. We're looking for Gary. He's usually in there somewhere, but there's a little camera shot at times.
And this is one of those situations, Len, where you really love Carlos Marmol's ability to retire a batter without allowing him to put the ball in play. You have to believe that Pat Listach, coaching down there at third base, is going to flag Adam Dunn on home on anything hit to the outfield here.
Cubs led at 1.3-0, but the Nationals came back to tie it with 2 in the 4th on a bases loaded walk and a sac fly, and then an RBI single in the 6th by Will Nieves. We have not seen a run from either team since. And remember that play at the plate early when Giovanni Soto was thrown out by Willie Taveras. 3-2 on Willingham with Adam Kennedy on deck. Payoff pitch, ground ball up the middle. Terrio picks it up, the throw to Derek in time. Marmol pumped up as he gets out of the 10th with no damage. Bottom 10, 3-3. Produced by Mark Brady. Our director, Skip Ellison. Doug Stanton, our associate producer. Christine Charbonneau, our stage manager in the booth. Mark Harper is our remote technical manager. Jim Corno Jr., the senior executive producer of Comcast Sportsnet. Everybody bundled up and hoping the Cubs can get out of here with a win as Theriot starts the bottom of the 10th with a base hit to right. So he needed extras to continue his multi-hit game streak, but it's now at 6 in a row.
First pitch fastball inside part of the plate. That patented pull your hands in and inside out the ball the other way. Just does. Get it past the diving Christian Guzman for a leadoff hit. You would expect Baker to put down a sac bunt here. We'll see how Lou plays it.
Bruni still in as he worked a scoreless ninth. And Baker fans on the bunt attempt. One strike on Jeff. Strike two. Both teams are 0-1 in extra innings. Cubs dropped their last home game here against Houston 3-2 in 10 on the 18th. Swing and a miss, strike three.
All four-seam fastballs, that at bat from Brian Bruni. He does have a cutter that he will throw, a pitch that he learned from Mariano Rivera, pitching out of that Yankees bullpen. Nothing tricky that time, though. 3 fastballs in the low to mid-90s.
Here's the pitch to lead. Ball one. See if Theriot will try to get in scoring position here.
Now, Will Nieves behind home plate has only thrown out 1 of 8 attempted base stealers this year.
Bruni ready with a 2-0. It's low. 3 balls, no strikes. The temperature has seemingly dropped as the wind continues to howl in from the north. We started at 49. They look comfortable, however. There's a PNC Club of Chicago as Lee walks. Now it's Marlon Byrd. Theriot doing a little extra leg stretching in this cold weather as he contemplates a second to home sprint to win this game.
Well, we've already seen Willie Taveras' arm. Actually, that's Willie Harris now out in right field. Much prefer to have Willie Harris rather than Willie Taveras. Taveras with the better arm. Harris just average arm from right field. Same thing for Nigel Morgan in center. Josh Willingham maybe a smidge above average in left.
Guzman goes out and it's going to drop. He will fire it in to the pitcher Bruni. They are loaded up for a Ramos. So Marlon Byrd with a bloop hit. He has 3 more hits tonight. And the Cubs now with a golden opportunity to send everybody home.
Byrd frustrated with that little floater. I said back in the 6th inning, he's consistently hit the ball as hard as any Cubs offensive player. This time he shoots a flare out there into shallow center with the wind. Guzman just can't get to it. If he had fired to third base right there, they probably forced Ryan Theriot. Theriot had no choice but to hang close to the bag at second. Got a late break for third, but the Cubs have him loaded for Aramis Ramirez.
The Nationals want to turn 2 to get this game into the 11th. Ramirez is 1 for 4 with an RBI double and a run. The winning run is at third. Ryan Theriot is there. Derek Lee at second. Marlon Byrd at first.
On a slowly hit ball, you'll probably see the Nationals infielders charge and try to get the force out at home plate. On a hard hit ball, they'll try to turn 2 up the middle.
That almost hit Aramis, which would have ended the game. The outfielders all have to come in. And the 1-0. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Ian Desmond trying to mix things up, and Steve McCatty, the pitching coach, is going to come out as well.
Well, so far all we've seen from Bruni is fastballs, either a 2-seamer at 87 or 88 miles an hour that has a little bit of sinking movement, a cutter at 87, 88, 89 that has a little bit of movement away from a right-handed hitter, and a 4-seamer in the mid-90s. Everything he throws is hard. And right now he's having trouble commanding any of them.
This would be a nice confidence lifter for a struggling Aramis Ramirez as he tries to help his team get its 4th straight win and get to 500. He is in the catbird seat right now, 2-0. Here's a pitch. Ball 3. Bruni incredulous. He's got to throw a strike or the game ends. That's it. Cubs win on a bases loaded walk in the 10th. 4-3 the final. So Ramirez never did have to swing the bat. Theriot, the spark plug again. And it's the proverbial walk-off walk.